One of the questions I am often asked is that if they had to start in the world of trading, what advice I would give you, and of course we could spend days, weeks, months talking about all this, but there are a few keys, strategies that we have to be very clear, and that will save us a lot of time and money in the process. In today's video, I will show you step by step a strategy with 2 indicators, which is based on some of these concepts that will accelerate our improvement in the world of trading, and with which you will save a lot of time and get a higher win rate. Welcome to the Trader's Game. And before we start, remember that in the description you have the links to join us in our Telegram community, where every day we post charts and analysis of what is happening in the financial markets. And also the trading bonus page, which has been updated and have added new promotions and free bonuses for all those who are starting in the world of trading. Do not forget to leave your email if you want to receive a weekly newsletter with everything that has happened during those days. This is a strategy that can be used in all types of assets, whether stocks, forex, or cryptocurrencies. We are going to enter in the temporalities of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 5 minutes, making it a very versatile strategy for all types of traders. We go directly to indicators, where we will look for the first one, commonly called ASGMA or ALMA Smooth Gaussian Moving Average, which already in the title shows us that it has a fairly considerable amount of mathematical variables, but which in turn is very simple to interpret and combine. We go to the configuration part, where we will place in the smoothing 72, and look back we will change that 25 by 15, and in the bottom part the volatility period we will put it in 5, and the standard deviation also in 5. In the style section, I personally am going to put it to my taste, and I believe that it is also the way in which our brain will need less time to assimilate these data and that it is much easier to operate, but as I say, this is always more to the taste of each one. I am going to remove the color fills of the candles. We remove those up there, the one down here too, especially to see much better when the indicator gives us the signals, when are exactly those candle closes, because in data entry we have the source in closing, so it would not make much sense to color the bars, and we do not know exactly when is that close. I will also remove these background color bands, and at the bottom I will also remove the labels. Personally, I am going to leave it this way. You will see now why. But first of all, we return to the part of indicators, and we also add the RSI plus. In this case, in configuration and data entry, we will change the 14 by the 16. And in the part of style that also you can configure to your taste, I like in this part of below to change the zones of overbought and oversold in gray and to put each one with the opposite color. That is to say, the overbought zone, I will put it in red color, for example with an opacity of 20, and the oversold zone, I will put it in green color, because this way directly I know that in the moment in which the RSI reaches that upper red zone, what I will have to do normally is to sell, and below the same, but on the contrary, when it reaches to touch the green zone, what I will have to do is to look for a purchase. There are different moments in the market where, as you can see, the price goes through these oversold or overbought zones, and the bars that this indicator shows us are with a lot of noise. That is, we do not know clearly when to enter. So in this particular indicator, I like to remove these 2 options in the style part that show when the RSI is overbought and oversold, because it also offers 2 other options that show us when the price is extremely overbought or extremely oversold. So why are we going to leave the signals that tell us only when it is a little oversold if we can focus on those that are safer? So I also recommend you to do it to you. And as I said in the introduction of the video, there are a few basic concepts that will always help you when you start in the world of trading, and that you will have to take into account in your career as a trader, whether you are a beginner or if you already have many years. And there is a type of movement that are always the most profitable and easy to operate, are the trend movements. I.e., when it is confirmed that a trend changes, we can take advantage of various signals to find a perfect entry and take advantage of these movements, i.e., get on the train of the trend. In this case, as we can see in the bottom, the RSI shows us that the shaded part is reaching, in this case first here, to the oversold area, and just the upper indicator or ASGMA marks us the buy signal. What would we do then? Place our operation in long, stop loss below the previous structural lows, which, depending on whether the asset is more or less volatile, we can set it in that area where the support takes place and the candle closes, or in other less volatile assets also place it below the spikes. But well, here we can clearly see that the support area is this here, so we place the stop loss there, and the take profit we will put it in ratio 1 to 1 or 1.5 to 1. In this case, we are in an hourly time frame in a very volatile asset such as Bitcoin or in general all cryptocurrencies, and also the RSI has not given us the signal of extremes, i.e. is oversold but not extremely oversold, so I decide to take a safer operation ratio 1-to-1 and take those profits. A little further on the same thing happens, but on the contrary, we come from an overbought area and the upper indicator gives us a sell signal. In this case, we place the stop loss above those previous structural highs and the 1-to-1 ratio or 1.5 ratio operation. As you can see, we get on that trend, and we could even choose to place a trailing stop, and that we were taking all the profits, taking advantage of this massive fall. Another option is simply to see that the price continues to fall accompanying our operation and to carry a very large ratio. Simply wait to sell when the ASDMA marks us an opposite signal, i.e. when we mark this buy signal that could start a new trend change. As you can see, the results are incredible simply using this strategy based on such basic knowledge. In this case, a little further back, we also have a signal of extreme overbought. What happens here? We wait for the change of trend, that sell signal, we place our stop loss and our take profit again to 1-to-1 or 1.5-to-1 ratio, and we would have another great positive operation that we could even have taken one after another. When we use this strategy in relatively high temporalities such as 1 hour, I advise you to operate in a more conservative way, with less capital, less leverage, and not placing fixed stop losses. That is, if we are operating a very volatile asset such as any cryptocurrency, it is most likely that the price may be varying in a wider range in a very short period of time. So if we make a first entry without fixed stop loss where it shows us that first signal, but if later, for example, the price continues to rise, the RSI shows us some kind of divergence, and the indicator shows us again another entry, for example up here, we would be covering a wider area where the average price of our operation would be more or less in this intermediate zone, and we would catch all the decline in a safer way. This obviously you must adapt it to your trading style as well as to the volatility of the asset and the time frame in which you operate. For example, if we go down now to the time frame of 15 minutes, I recommend you to be stricter and only look for those operations where the RSI shows you those zones of extreme overbought or oversold, such as this area here. We come from that area, we wait for that sell signal. We make a short entry, and as you can see, the price continues to rise, showing us a very clear divergence with the RSI and the price. So again, we wait for another signal that in this case is practically in the same area, and when we start that decline, we could already place that stop loss and our take profit to our liking. As you can see, in this way we ensure many more operations in positive and decreasing the risk, since each of these entries would be, for example, half of what we would do in the case of making an operation with a fixed stop loss. Down here we would have more of the same. We see that the price has begun to lateralize. We come from that area of extreme oversold, so our first entry would be at this point. The price continues to fall, showing us again a large divergence, so we expect that second entry that would be given right here, and the average of our entry would be more or less in this area. We place our stop loss below these areas of support or previous structural lows and take that ratio of 1-to-1, for example. Especially when we notice that the price has begun to lateralize in a range, it is advisable to look for that 1-to-1 instead of 1.5 to ensure profits, because as you can see below, the price continues to lateralize. If we change the asset and we go to one a little less volatile, as is the Forex, we can see that if we take advantage perfectly that combination of extreme overbought or oversold areas and wait for the signals of the superior indicator, we can take very good profits in a fairly simple way, simply applying with discipline the strategy and adding that basic knowledge we have about support zones, resistance, and trends. Even being in an hour, we could take advantage of this here in the middle. Since we come from that downtrend, oversold area, and subsequent change of trend, we mark the confirmation and take our operation. I am sure you will love this strategy itself, so please feel free to try it out for yourself and let us know your results below in the description. If you are looking for the best platforms to trade both Forex, stocks, or cryptocurrencies, you have in the description the official page of Trading Bonus, where besides having them all together so you can try them and choose, they will give you some bonuses completely free so you can start. So do not hesitate to take a look, and also, as always, we will leave you our free Telegram community so that all those who want more information day by day, you can have it completely free. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video of the Trader's Game.